Good morning, people. I hope all of you are doing good. And today I want to go ahead in this journey of me talking about the Ashtavakra Geeta. Talking about the Ashtavakra Geeta, I felt is a great responsibility. There was an impulse inside my consciousness, and that impulse was driving me to do this. And usually, when an impulse comes after reading a man like Ashtavakra and being associated with people like Nisargadatta Maharaj, Yuji Krishnamurti, you do not take the various impulses that come upon the mind very seriously. But there are certain impulses that draw your attention more and more. So it is only right if you see what the impulse wants you to do. And here the impulse wanted me to talk about the Ashtavakra Geeta. And when I thought about it, I felt as if this is paying back to the Guru, who has given me a lot, who has given me a lot by taking the lot that was given to me by society. Now Ashtavakra has that potency. Ashtavakra has that clinicality. He's a clinical surgeon. If you trust him, then he will operate you in the best manner possible. His song of self-realization is very unique. His expression, the way the words are aligned, it is so beautifully aligned that if one reads it, definitely, most definitely, there will be a mutation, some kind of mutation, depending on how you read him, how much you give him time, and things like that. So let's go ahead by talking about the various sutras. In the first chapter, it's the 8th sutra in the first chapter, in which he's saying, "Do you, who have been bitten by the great black serpent of the egoism, I am the doer, drink the nectar of the faith, I am not the doer, and be happy." I'll read it again. "Do you, who have been bitten by the great black serpent of the egoism, I am the doer, drink the nectar of the faith, I am not the doer, and be happy." According to Ashtavakra, this sense of individuality that each person has, we feel that we are individuals, we feel that we are isolated beings. We very much cling to this fact that this is who we are. And according to Ashtavakra, this is a result of the poison of being bitten by a black snake. When a black cobra bites anybody, the poison spreads throughout the body, and the poison most usually kills the person. So according to Ashtavakra, this sense of individuality is not different from the poison that a black cobra instills inside you. Yeah, just like the poison of the cobra kills an individual, the poison of individuality kills the prospect of a man realizing his true nature. Because as long as he's going to be an individual, he's going to live in that illusion of individuality. He's going to feel that he's separate from all existence, and that he has to work hard, that he has to suffer, and he has to do this, that, and the other in order to keep himself intact in this world. He will live in great fear. All his life will be spent in avoiding fear and going towards the object of desire. So if you really deep it, if you see what it really is, fear and desire, if you close your eyes, meditate for a while, and see how fear and desire are taking hold of you, then you will see why Ashtavakra is calling this sense of individuality as being bitten by a black serpent. Now Ashtavakra also provides a solution. He says, "Do you, who have been bitten by the great black serpent of the egoism, I am the doer, drink the nectar of the faith, I am not the doer, and be happy." And then he points out towards a tonic, towards the thing that is going to free you from the poison that was instilled in you. He says, the tonic is that I am not the doer. It is the mind that does, it is the body that does, it is the energy that sustains the body and the mind. It is that energy, it is the mind and the body that makes us do what we do in the world. It is the permutation and combination between the various elements, various physical elements, various psychological elements that combine within themselves to produce the activity that you are producing at that very given moment. But you are not all that. You are the one from which all of it is being born. You are the supreme consciousness. According to Ashtavakra, as we have discussed many a times very deeply, that consciousness is the ground of all beings. Just like the sky is not, just like the sky, which is formless, which is shapeless, which is non-physical, just like the space, I was saying the sky, just like the space is the ground of all physical things that we see around, the consciousness is the ground where this world that the mind has created exists. Yeah. So when you wake up in the morning, before waking up in the morning, this world was not there. Suddenly, it is projected in the screen of your consciousness. So you are the consciousness. You are the unchanging consciousness. You are the consciousness that remains as it is in the waking state, in the dreaming state, in the deep sleep state. So that is what Ashtavakra is telling us. Now he goes ahead, he says, burn down the forest of ignorance with the fire of conviction, I am the one, and pure consciousness, and be free from grief and be happy. Simple words it might seem, but that is the beauty of a sutra. You have to unpack it. You have to read it again and again and see the various adjectives being used in the sutra, because without measuring the depth of the adjectives that the master is using, you won't be able to understand exactly what he's trying to convey. Now he says, burn down the forest of ignorance. To burn something down is a very serious thing. When somebody says burn it down, it means that to do such an activity is very necessary. When he says burn it down, he's not saying just remove it, he's saying burn it down, that it needs to be burned down, that you have to look at it, that everybody has to look at it with the sense that it is a great danger, that it has to be burned down, it has to be shot down. It should not be allowed to survive, because it is surviving, the mess in the world is being created. This sense of individuality, everybody has it. So everybody just goes out to fill himself to be free of this great danger. Everybody thinks that this universe is a great threat, so he fills and fills and fills himself, and in the process of filling himself, he depletes the earth. That is why Ashtavakra says it is a great danger. This individuality is a great danger, and it needs to be burned down. It needs to be just swept away. Burn down the forest of ignorance with the fire of conviction. And how will you do that? How will you burn it down? How will you burn the whole thing down, which is making you perceive, which is making you think, which is making you live in the world? How can you burn this instrument down? Well, you don't have to light a fire on yourself. All you have to do is to realize, according to Ashtavakra, that I am the one and pure consciousness, and be free from grief and happy. So what you have to do to burn it down is not to do anything. You just have to realize that you are not this mind. Let the mind do what it does. Let the thinking go wherever it wants to go. Let the feelings make you feel whatever they want to make you feel. But you don't identify with it. Yeah. You just realize at all times that this feeling or this thought or this behavior is being born from you. Yeah. And it is because of the old tendencies and the permutation and combination between the old tendencies of the mind that is producing what is being produced. But you are the one that is behind all of it, and you always have the capacity to follow an impulse or not to follow an impulse. So stop trusting your mind. Don't go wherever it takes you. And if you do it again and again, repeatedly, if you practice it, then slowly and steadily you will come upon a time where these impulses of the mind, as soon as they arise, you will know that this is not me. This is not me. As each impulse arrives in your consciousness, you will be able to disregard the impulses that take you towards the various objects of the world, and slowly those tendencies which are dominating so intensely right now will begin to quieten down. And when they quieten down, you will have tremendous energy to look at yourself, to look at the beautiful phenomenon of this universe. You'll be able to have the capacity to see who you are, because now your energy is not dissipated in the useless things of the world. So this was the 9th sutra, in which he's telling us to burn it down. Burn it down. Don't wait for it. Do it right now. Now the 10th sutra. You are that consciousness, bliss, supreme bliss, in and upon which the universe appears superimposed like a snake on a rope. Live happily. In this sutra, I'll repeat it again. You are that consciousness. Again, we've talked about it. You are the awareness that is aware of the thought that is going on in your mind right now. You are that consciousness, bliss. Now he's saying that this consciousness which you are has the nature of bliss. That if you get established in this consciousness, if you detach yourself from the mind and rest in the space from which it is emerging from, then you will be blissful at once. All your worries will be set at rest, because what is the thing that is making you worry? What is the thing that is making you agitated? It is the mind. And when you disidentify yourself from the mind, if you do it steadily, suddenly you will realize that in this quiet awareness which Ashtavakra is talking about, there is great bliss, there is great peace. Yeah. So that is that. And he says that the universe appears on this consciousness. The thought that you're having right now is generating the universe that you're perceiving. Each thought has the capacity to create its own world, but the thought is being created inside consciousness, inside who you are. So, just like you say, this is my mobile phone, but this mobile phone is not yours, right? It belongs to you, but it is not yours. It is not you, rather. Yeah. Similarly, this mind and this body belongs to you, but it is not you. Yeah. Do you say this little finger is mine? Do you say this little finger is me? No, you don't say that. You say that this little finger belongs to my body. So that differentiation has to be there. You have to look upon whatever appears in front of you as an appearance in consciousness. This consciousness is who you are. We are discussing this thing again and again and again, and it is also very necessary to discuss this again and again and again, so that again and again and again you go back to yourself, from which everything is springing from. Now, the last sutra for today is the 11th sutra. He who considers himself free is free indeed, and he who considers himself bound remains bound. As one thinks, so one becomes, is a popular saying in this world, and it is quite true. Here Ashtavakra is giving not a high spiritual truth, but a truth that pertains very much to the mind, and it has a certain quality. Here he is saying, he who considers himself is free indeed. A man that considers that he is free will feel free. A man who considers himself bound will feel bound. Yeah. So, as one thinks, so one becomes is a popular saying in this world, and it is quite true. This is a very significant utterance, and one that contains an invaluable lesson for those who wish to attain self-realization. In reality, the self is ever free. It never enters into a stage of bondage. It never enters into a state of bondage. It is our ignorance that we think ourselves bound, and this thought makes our supposed bondage persist and continue. It is because we think that we are bound that we are bound. If we think that we are free, we'll feel free. We think we are bound because there are a set of rules, there are a set of ideas in our head. When they happen, we think that we are bound. There's a certain chemistry that we do not like. When pain is produced, when there is a tightness in the chest, we feel this tremendous bondage. But this bondage is created by the ideas in the mind. So if the ideas in the mind are removed and substituted, then one can have the capacity to be free from the various things that he's imagining right now. So he's saying it never enters into a stage of bondage. It is our ignorance that we think ourselves bound, and this thought makes our supposed bondage persist and continue. If, however, we constantly think of ourselves as the eternally free self, we shall realize that we are ever free. So if we realize, or if we rather than believing that we are in bondage, if we believe that we are not this body, we are not this mind, it is the mind that suffers, it is the body that suffers, and it is the ideas in the mind that make us feel that we are in bondage, but in reality we are ever free. If you think like that, then you won't have the thoughts that are occupying our minds at this moment. At this moment we are occupied by thoughts of the world, by the thoughts of desires and fears. That is why we have become very rigid, very tight, very unhappy. So that is what Ashtavakra is saying here. So enough for today. These 3 sutras were very important, and thank you for listening. We'll meet at the next time I post a video, and in the meantime, don't take the words of Ashtavakra as facts. Try it out. Try it out for yourself. This is not me trying to hand down to you something and asking you to be convinced by it, asking you to, believe it. You don't have to believe it. You have to try it out. Belief is the worst thing that a man can do. Yeah, so stop believing in all these things without trying it out. Try it out and see it for yourself if it works or not. If it works, see why it worked. If it does not work, see why it did not work. But definitely try it out. Namaste.